Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael, and today we're discussing about KuCoin. One of the world's largest and leading cryptocurrency exchanges has been prosecuted and executives prosecuted as of today in America. A top U.S. prosecutor has announced criminal charges stemming from money laundering, not following AML procedures, not registering properly, a whole bunch of nice things. So they have done this to send a message. They've charged two of its founders in a bid to basically, it's the scapegoat. Hey guys, listen, you're using America, you're using American citizens and making a $1 billion profit, if not more, and you didn't do the proper registration. This is sending a bad message to everybody else that will accept this. We do not. And this is the penalties that come with it. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said conspiracy charges against KuCoin and two executives should send a nice warning message. They cannot serve U.S. customers without following U.S. laws. An indictment in Manhattan federal court said the company and its founders have tried to conceal the existence of its U.S. customer base. And in New York, specifically in December, the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, secured a payout of more than $22 million from KuCoin. $16.7 million of which was refunded back to customers in the state of New York, over 150,000 of them, and $5.3 million was a penalty to the state of New York. KuCoin was also required to cease operations in the state of New York after falsely representing itself as a cryptocurrency exchange without registering as a securities and commodities broker-dealer. This is a huge deal. Now, New York, of course, they have some of the strictest crypto policies in all of America. This we found out many years ago from many exchanges, even for crypto ATMs. Now, Williams said in a release that in KuCoin, which has been around for many years, what is it now? 7-8 years they've been around. A multi-billion-dollar global exchange has taken advantage of its sizable U.S. customer base to become one of the world's largest cryptocurrency derivatives and spot exchanges with billions of dollars of daily trades and trillions of dollars of annual trade volume. And they deliberately chose to flout U.S. laws designed to help identify and eliminate crime and criminal proceedings and criminal profits that stem from that. So corrupt financing schemes, Ponzi schemes, ransomware, malware, all these hackers, anything you can think of that was bad to do with cryptocurrency. Well, if you don't have AML, KYC, it's certain that your exchange was probably used for a majority of those, if not all of those, and you had no idea, or even if you did, you didn't care. So one of the charges is stemming from the laundering of large sums of proceeds from criminal malware, ransomware, fraud schemes, blah, 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 the whole thing. KuCoin failed to implement even the very basic necessities, anti-money laundering policies. Over $4 billion of customer transactions, suspicious criminal funds, were not checked by KuCoin. This was basically a haven for illicit money laundering, Williams said. I've printed here what KuCoin has responded. KuCoin is operating well and the assets of our users are absolutely safe. We are aware of the related reports and are currently investigating the details through our lawyers. KuCoin respect. Well, maybe they ran out of characters. The laws and regulations of various countries and strictly adheres to compliance standards. Oh, yes. The corporate response. Don't you love that? Whatever your opinion is, I get it. AML and KYC is important, and you can't really flout those, especially when there's other exchanges that have to play ball, aka Coinbase and other domestic exchanges, of which they're getting wrecked by all these regulations. And the SEC is not having, they're just wasting Coinbase's time. But anyways, you're going to have always this situation when you're dealing with America, whatever it is, whether it's cryptocurrency or cannabis or any of the controversial topics. I work in a bank, so obviously digital currencies, we have to ask a client, do you have any digital currencies? If so, that's a red flag. We are accepting of cryptocurrency. However, it is still one of those questions we have to, if you have too many red flags, for OFAC and whatnot. I mean, certain alerts get set up, certain holding periods and whatnot, and there might be a further investigation by the security team done into your account. And most of it is for AML KYC purposes, because if you say, yes, I operate a cryptocurrency company, and yes, I operate a legal cannabis company, you're probably operating with a lot of cash on hand and digital currency where you could potentially, allegedly, get away with not paying taxes, money laundering, supporting criminal proceeds. There's a lot of stuff that can go on. So banks, traditional finance wants to know everything. In cryptocurrency, now it is turning more into TradFi because of what's been happening recently. It's becoming stabler. Although for those of us who have been trading globally, we certainly appreciate when there's still crypto ATMs and companies that don't necessarily need KYC and AML. Not because we want to get away with certain criminal stuff, but it's just, it's an invasion of privacy, and that's the whole point of cryptocurrency. But that's just my opinion there. So Darren McCormick, he heads the New York Office of Homeland Security Investigations, said this prosecution exposes one of the largest global cryptocurrency exchanges as a multi-billion-dollar criminal conspiracy. They're the cartel. The crypto cartel. KuCoin grew to service over 30 million customers despite its alleged failure to follow laws necessary to ensuring the security and stability of our world's digital banking infrastructure. They don't care. First off, this company has been launched in Hong Kong in 2017, but the team, Michael Gaughan and a couple of its co-founders, basically began the company before it ever launched in 2013, when crypto was in a different phase than it is right now. Everything was exploding back then, and 2017 was a proper year for it to launch, right before the biggest bull run people have ever seen before, up until what's hopefully happening now. And with that, they don't care. The company's registered in Seychelles, and with all of these crypto companies, they're global. The executives are Chinese citizens. Nothing's going to happen to them unless they're traveling through American territories. We'll see. But on social media, the company's chief executive, who identified himself as Johnny, said the regulatory matter related to KuCoin has come to my attention. Yes. While we're working on it, the platform is unaffected and operating normally as usual. Your assets are safe and sound with us. That just sounds, yes. Everything is fine. Okay. Our team and I will provide timely updates about the progress. So, charged is Chun Gan at 34 years old. That's Michael Gaughan. Ke Tang is 39. And both of those are the company founders, and both of them are citizens of China. The company was also momentarily in Singapore. I mean, all these companies are they've been registered in so many different countries. They are charged with conspiring to violate the Bank Secrecy Act, and they're conspiring to operate an unlicensed money transmitting business. They remain at large. They're criminals, right? Oh boy, that's funny. The Bank Secrecy Act, it's a charge that stemmed essentially from AML. You didn't have proper guidelines in place to ensure that U.S. citizens were not prohibited from using KuCoin. Some exchanges specifically prohibit, such as Binance. They had the U.S. section and they had their global section. And some exchanges don't even want to do anything with U.S. citizens because they understand, hey, this is a huge issue. Now, there's loopholes around that. What if you're a U.S. citizen, but you use, in my case, a Polish passport, and you're living in Poland at the time, like I used to be? Well, then you can use it. If you're a dual citizen or tri-citizen or whatnot, or you renounce citizenship, you certainly can do it. No problemo. Because you have supplied the exchange with proper information. If you use a different country's passport, hey. Now, it's on you as the citizen to still pay your taxes, of course. You cannot miss out on paying your taxes. Isn't that the fun stuff? I gave my tax information to get processed recently to actually, file my taxes this year. because the deadline's approaching, and it was not a fun process. And there's a lot that, I had student loans and grants that I had to include. I had to include the bankruptcy in these companies, and there's all these forms you have to fill out. And okay, well, I switched the job, and I also was doing gig work, and also this, and then YouTube, and it's like, oh my goodness, there's just a lot that goes into it. Thankfully, I'm not investing in cryptocurrency at the moment because that would have been complicated, but I used to. And with that, I had losses that roll over into my taxes. But gosh darn it, are taxes complicated. So basically what I'm trying to say, America cares. The IRS cares about their taxes. No matter where you are, if you're a U.S. citizen, they will track you down. They will track that money down, and you have to have all of your forms, and it's going to take 100 hours for you to gather everything, and the CPA is going to be really confused, and it's not a pleasant thing, but America doesn't care because they want to collect their money. And if you are running an exchange and potentially, allegedly, screwing America out of their money, they will care, and they will try and charge you, and they might screw you like they did Changpeng Zhao of Binance, where he's facing 1.5 years in prison now. Despite his billionaire status, they don't care, and he's facing heavy penalties. So essentially, they failed to file any suspicious activity reports, any whatsoever. They're pretty common in the financial industry. So they are registered in the Cayman Islands, the Republic of Seychelles, and Singapore. And the 3 companies that are doing business as KuCoin, because, it's not, if you have hundreds of companies, shell companies and whatnot, but for regulatory purposes, all these companies, all the large companies of the world, there's always going to be different companies that are registered in different, it's kind of like you see a ship, like the ship that crashed, unfortunately, last night. Hopefully, they find the people who are in the water and whatnot, but terrible accident. So that ship was registered to a foreign country, and you're wondering, okay, what's going on there? Well, it's a huge rabbit hole because the company's registered in one country, the ship's registered in one country, the crew's from a different country, and it's like, what's going on there? The lawyers of these companies are doing it on purpose. Same thing with all of this. It's for tax implications. That's what it is. It's taxes and liability at the end of the day. Those are the main 2 things that's why they're charged. That's why all these countries are much more lenient. And then when something like this happens, the strict countries, well, they try and charge all these companies, but at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen. They're trying to aim for penalties and whatnot. On the KuCoin website on Tuesday, U.S. residents were greeted with the following message. Based on your IP address, we currently do not provide services in your country or region due to local laws, regulations, or policies. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. If you're from a region where our services are available, please access our platform from a supported location to complete KYC verification. Okay, which that means if you had your funds there, well, you're probably going to have to use a VPN and, get them off, and that's not a problem. Whatever, you can easily avoid that. So 30 million registered users across more than 200 countries worldwide. Oh, yeah. Now, what's going to happen? Well, probably a whole bunch of nothing. Probably they're going to target other companies where it's easier to get these executives and the companies out. U.S. citizens can't use it, but that's the other loophole. You can be a U.S. citizen and not a dual citizen and just use your VPN. Or, you could be a dual citizen. Well, if you're in America and you're a dual citizen, you still will have to use a VPN. And it's always advisable to use a VPN if depends on what you're doing, on your activities. Maybe if you're just a normal Joe Schmo trading crypto, for your first time ever, you don't need to use a VPN, but, it depends on where the proceeds are coming from. But with that is that. KuCoin's token is unfortunately gone down, but not a huge amount, 13.5%. It is the lowest, in terms of where the market's at right now. You got Dog with Hat exploding 40% today, crazy gains all across the board. Some tokens and, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're doing okay. Bitcoin's above 70 grand, but KuCoin has achieved the worst performing status for today, for obvious reasons, because they're getting charged. This is heavy news, but that is that. Thanks for watching today's video. Hopefully this gets resolved. And an update to a previous video. One of the executives that was being held in Nigeria has escaped. Supposedly he might have bribed or paid a penalty, but really it's a bribe from the Nigerian government. They know what they're doing is sketchy. There's certain countries that unfortunately in their current state, it's not the best idea to travel for business purposes. So, and even if you're traveling through normal countries, I remember having a situation once when I was traveling to Canada. I had a collaboration video plan, And they asked me at the border, and I was very silly. And I said, yes, I'm traveling for business. And immediately they pulled me aside and they're like, well, what kind of business? And they asked me 100 million questions. They're like, you shouldn't have said you're doing this for business. And I was like, oh my God, So I got out of that. But yeah, even the good countries, you say you're doing business, they want their money. They want their money. That's what it is. Guys, let's make some money. I'm excited. This is going to be a good year for cryptocurrency. KuCoin's probably laughing about this. The executives are laughing. Who cares? Whatever. Now, if you're an American citizen in American companies investing on American exchanges, of course, we have to follow the law. We have to make sure these companies are being, they're following, they're being prosecuted and they're being penalized because we have to support, as a crypto supporter, freedom. So, mixed feelings on this one, but that's it. What are your thoughts? Thanks for watching. Have a good one.